Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is officially November 30th. Tomorrow is December 1st. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it tomorrow, about what's going on in December. I did put up the schedule. I actually have it filled with so much stuff this time that I plan to stick to, because I was like, okay, the best way for me to stick to something is to make it more detailed so I can stop adding stuff and taking stuff out. Because like when I get sick or something, I can't do a video and I'll have to move it, and if that happened, I would literally just add it on to like the next time and we'll just have more videos that day. That's the plan. But I have more specific cases I want to talk about there on there. I was like, I did it that way so I can actually cover them and stop putting it back. I have to start actually going off the list of crimes I got on my list, because I got some on there that's been in there for a while and I keep adding on to them. And actually the one we're talking about today is a new one that I added, but it's only because it's so gruesome that I need to talk about it. And I was like, teen murder, we're used to it, but this is just really dark. But yeah, I'm excited that it's the end of November, y'all. Let me tell y'all, I was in a food coma yesterday. I did not record yesterday. I was supposed to, but I did not. That's why I moved it to today. I was like, I just wanted to sleep in. My body was sore. We went to go see family. I had to talk a lot yesterday, walk a lot, I ate a lot. Actually, yesterday wasn't even Thanksgiving, but the last 2 days, the day before yesterday was Thanksgiving. And these 2 days have been stressful of food. So I'm not mad about it. But I had a good time. I'm happy I got to see family. My eyes woke up to a lot of stuff, and now it's time to get back to business. It was a good relaxation period. I'll tell you that. 2 days of relaxing, I was like, that was nice. But we do have crime to talk about. Now, next month, like I said, you're going to hear more about it tomorrow, because we're going to talk about it on there, because I got that scheduled to talk about it a little bit about what's going on. Just to let you guys know, I gave myself like a little, I think, less off days of not recording next month, because I want to talk about so much stuff. So a lot of stuff, I think it's like, it's probably 1 day a week. Like, I'm trying to keep it like a real job and keep it like a business and look at it that way, because I was like, that'll get me more motivated to do it, like to do like the research and actually not get tired. And even though I do get tired of research, I hate looking at the screen for too long. That's what it is. But I'm trying to treat this like a business. So I was like, let me actually try to stick to the schedule, and I added more specific stuff so I can follow it. That's the plan. What we're talking about today is teen murder. This is not a love story whatsoever. I hope it's not. I skimmed through it a little bit. I was like, I didn't see love nowhere. So I try to skim through it just so I can see what I'm getting myself into, because I'm still going into this blind, mind you. I need y'all to see my real reaction when I talk about this stuff. This is about an 18-year-old at the time. This happened in 2022, who murdered and raped a 13-year-old girl who he was allegedly friends with. So that's weird. It's weird. But, I don't know. You have this dude who's obsessed with murder. He was obsessed with fictional serial killers. Now, I always say how I love Michael Myers, but I'm not going to do any of that. Like, why would I do any of that? But he's also obsessed. I think it was like a horror band or something that talk about murder. So you have a really, really heavy, I don't know, like that. What's that rebel rocker teen, like, to mind you, he's 18 at the time. Like that you see it in movies where you got teenagers it's like the hardcore rock killer lovers. I don't know. It's just, that's what this is giving for some reason. But yeah, he raped and murdered her. So let's get into it. I feel like Dexter, teen obsessed with horrorcore rap, lured 13-year-old girl to woods where he raped and murdered her as a part of his fantasy. So we have fantasy murder. Ew, that's so creepy. Why would some be called a fantasy? That should not be a fantasy. Murder is not a fantasy. That's very much reality. And to try to say you feel like Dexter, y'all don't know what Dexter is. That is a TV show of, I believe I know my mom watched the show. She told me I should watch it. I tried to watch it, but I didn't really get into it. But I always hear it's really good, though. Y'all, sorry, this string hair. Everybody says it's really good, though. But he's a cop, and he's also a serial killer. So they're looking for, like, him, and nobody knows. Like, he got away with it. But I guess that's what he's saying he felt like. I don't know, because it's very gruesome, the deaths that the show, if you take out the show, the stuff he do in there is like really gruesome. So I don't know why would he say he feel like Dexter. I don't know where that plays a part in, but dude, you got caught. So I don't know. But look at the picture. So we have Daniel Gore, and that's why I say it's giving that teen 90s, or I don't know, or that rebellious teen who don't care about life and love rock bands and love hardcore music. I don't know. That's what it's giving, y'all. And that is her, Milana Lee. She's really pretty. Rest in peace. An Oregon jury convicted a runaway teen who murdered and raped the 13-year-old girl after luring her to where he had been living in the woods, and where he also kept a shrine to a horrorcore rapper and a diary that professed his love for a fictional serial killer. Daniel Ryan Gore, 18, was found guilty of first-degree murder, rape, and sexual abuse in 2022 death of 13-year-old Milana Lee, the Washington County District Attorney's Office says. Prosecutors told jurors that Gore was a wolf in sheep's clothing who gave Milana a false sense of security. Milana, I think it's Milana, right? Yeah, Milana was last seen alive around 7:45 p.m., May 8, 2022. Her mother reported her missing the next day after returning home from an overnight shift at work and learned she had never showed up to school. The mother and one of her daughter's friends went to a nearby wooded area in Beaverton, a suburb of Portland, where they found some of her clothes. They called the police, who started searching the area. Cops quickly found the girl's body, half submerged in a creek under a blanket. She had been strangled. Investigators discovered packaging related to the blanket in Gore's tent. After identifying Gore, then 16, as a suspect, Beaverton police tracked him to a library 2 days after the slaying. He tried to escape out of an emergency exit, but officers caught him. Detectives later learned that the defendant had called his then girlfriend the night of the murder and told her something bad had happened, but he took care of it. Okay, so I was wondering, that cleared that up. I was wondering why I said 22. I think I kept saying the year 2022 because it happened 2 years ago. So he was 16. He was a teenager, so that clears that up, thankfully. Still weird. 16, 13. That's still a weird age. I don't care. It's still weird. But he's 18 now. 16 then. She's 13. So he was homeless. He had a tent, living in the woods. A runaway teen, possibly? I don't know. They say he had a tent that he lured her to. So we had him strangling her. They found her body in a creek. Jeez, it's just so sad. Just people discarding bodies like it ain't nothing. And, they found her, like I said, they found her body really quick. And he had a girlfriend. So the story is kind of all over the place, but it was like it was a shutdown deal. They had her, like, the blanket she was in, the paper in his tent. They found him, the girlfriend. He told her that he did something bad, but he took care of it, which is why I don't understand why they talk so much. It's like they want to be known. Isn't it weird? I always find it so weird. They always text, something happened, but don't worry about it. Then why would you tell me? Like, you're going to tell her you did something bad, but I took care of it. Incriminating yourself, I'm all for it. Get rid of them. It's just more evidence on these idiots. But I wonder, it's like luring a little girl into the woods. I wish parents would, they need to talk to their kids more about, being aware and being safe. 2022 was still COVID time. It was like, peak COVID was 2021. Yeah, parents really need to normalize, like, talking to their kids about being safe and not just walking into woods. And I'm not blaming her, I'm just saying, don't go with strangers, even if they look like they're your friends. No. And people, you can easily say, well, they're teenagers, but he looked like he probably gave off red flags to anybody else, but she was just, going with the flow. And it's really horrifying to think what happened to her. Maybe, I wonder if there was now I'm curious if there was a fast switch. Like, if he just attacked her immediately when he got there. Because he raped her too. He had to remind herself that he didn't just strangle her, he raped her. Did he rape her outside? Did he rape her in the tent? It's just creepy thinking about all this stuff because there's so much, involved in this. According to a courtroom report from the newspaper in Oregon, Gore had run away from his home in Salem several months prior to the murder. He and Milana became friends and spent the night in question aimlessly riding a bus before he took her to the woods for their fatal encounter. After the murder, Gore repeatedly tried to establish an alibi by going to a friend's house and sending Milana text messages. He also told several people that he and Milana went their separate ways earlier in the night, but surveillance video and cell phone data showed the pair had been together. While processing the scene in and around Gore's tent, investigators reportedly found an ODE, okay, whatever, to the rapper 7XVN, who is known for his horrorcore music, which touches on violent subjects like cannibalism. His latest track on YouTube is a song called I Want to Eat Your Face. Gore reportedly had etched into a tree symbols tied to the rapper along with a skull mask associated with him. Cops also reportedly found a diary with the phrase, I feel like Dexter, referencing the fictional TV serial killer from the Showtime series Dexter. There were also searches on his phone about sexual assaults. But prosecutors said the killing wasn't about his enjoyment of horrorcore rap. And I quote, it was his choice to take a vulnerable girl who trusted him and followed him to the woods and acted out his fantasy, Senior Deputy District Attorney John Gerhard reportedly said during his closing argument. Okay, let's stop too real quick. Horror, how do you say it? Horrorcore music. I Want to Eat Your Face talks about cannibalism. Who listens to this stuff? That's like, people really listen to this stuff and take after that. They look up to these people. It's crazy. Some stuff should really be banned. Like, I'm all like, banned. The title itself should be banned. But you know what? You see the stuff I put on my title, so I really, it's like, at least not singing about it. You got little kids listening to that stuff, teenagers listening to that, which is, they need to have their stuff like censored. Like, no. If they censored it, I feel like you wouldn't be able to listen to it. It sounded like it was just so much. Okay, anyways, this cleared up so much. Like, I'm happy I had my thoughts before reading it, because I feel like everything I said, it was like, no, this is what happened. But you know what? You might have been right about this. So, okay, so they was on a bus together. He was a runaway prior. Okay. He did lure her. He lured her in there after the bus. She followed him into the woods for some reason. You know, yeah, we got to do better with safety tips for kids. I don't know. Don't even know what to say about this one. But just because he definitely had a plan, it's definitely a fantasy. Like the deputy say, is not really, they believe he just wanted to kill somebody, but I do believe it was like a fantasy of his to just murder somebody. Or it could be the point of, you have the people who just want to see what it's like to murder. Could be that too, because we've seen that in many cases as well. For some reason, people really want to figure that out. Like I said, if you want to do that, don't. You need to go make some food or something. I don't know what to say. That's not a normal thing to figure out. Gore's attorney, J. Mark Lawrence, tried to plant seeds of reasonable doubt in the minds of the jurors by noting cops did not find the victim's DNA on his clothing. There was DNA from an unidentified male on her clothing and underneath one of her fingernails. How could he possibly have raped and murdered her when there is not a cell of DNA evidence on this person? Lawrence reportedly said, we know who the killer is. We have his DNA. We just have to find him. But the jury didn't buy the defense argument and came back with the guilty verdict in less than 90 minutes. The news reported. Gore is set to be sentenced on December 2nd, which is 2 days from now, by the way, guys. As Law and Crime reported, at the time of her death, the young girl's grandmother mourned her passing and remembered her life in comments to Portland CBS affiliate. And I quote, I never see her angry. She always smiled. Okay, Grandma. Okay, Grandma. Lydia Lee said, pain. This pain is not possible to describe. You have to go through this pain. I don't want anybody to go through that. Washington County noted that Gore was on probation for numerous nonviolent offenses with the juvenile department at the time his victim was killed. These charges included theft 2, arson 2, and criminal mischief 2, the county noted. The county went on to note that Gore was released on probation by a court after a series of assessments, but then the county said officials were against his release from custody. It is these assessment findings, along with the recommendations from the prosecution and the defense attorneys, that informed the court in the settings of the terms of probation. The press release continued. For Daniel Gore, these terms included releasing him to his home under the supervision of his parents, as reported by news media. Prosecutors in this case recommend that the juvenile be held in detention and not released. Okay, that was a lot. That was actually a lot in this case. You know, this is a troubled teen, very troubled. I wonder why they released these kids like this. Like, he sounded like, everything they said, he sounded like he should have been, stuck in the detention center under supervision. He's a troubled teen who gets away with too much stuff. Like he's a runaway, he's a robber. He's like he charged with a lot of stuff as only like in his teenage years. So yeah, definitely should have never been released. Should have been in juvenile. Like I feel like the court need to stop going easy on these kids because stuff like this happen. You got these people that violence follows them, and look at the music he's listening to. Look at the stuff he's influenced by. All this stuff is adding up. Now you be like, and now that I'm like, actually after I reading this stuff, I was like, okay. I was trying to see where this was going. I was like, it was a lot in this case, but yeah, he's a troubled teen. Now I'm curious about how he grew up, or was he bullied in school? Was he a bully in school? Because all that stuff played a part. They should have really studied this dude. I don't know. It's a lot going on up there in the brain. You can easily say, his brain is not developed yet all the way, and that could play a part too. It's so much, but you also had just a young teenager who wanted to kill. He looked like he did everything else, arson, theft, and now he wanted to see what it was like to murder. And it's crazy because there's a lot of teenagers out here like this. And the last thing they need to do is be getting influenced by TV shows and getting influenced by horrible cannibalistic music. Like, I just cannot with this generation of kids. Like, oh my God. The court, they fail a lot of people. This dude, like, he shouldn't even, oh my God, like, he doesn't even look like he should have been around, like, civilization. Like, he did a lot of stuff, and, he murdered this little girl, lured her in there, she knew him. I still don't think she knew him that much. It's just, I don't know, kids are very naive. They'll, you make friends and then go out and hang out and follow them somewhere. For some reason, this is giving me Michael Myers vibes in 2007. The only thing is that it was a bully that followed him into the woods and he ended up killing the bully. I don't know why that's just giving me that, just because she followed him into the woods. But very horrifying. You got a 16-year-old. Now let's talk about this, since we know he was 16 at the time, not 22. Sorry for that. But you have the 16-year-old raping and strangling, wrapping her body up in like a blanket and throwing it in a creek. Like, that's very troubling when you actually hear that. How does he know how to do that? Like I said, seeing too much TV, too many movies. Like, I want to know what part did he try to get from Dexter. I feel like he was regarding like trying to get away with it, but he did not get away with it. And he will be sentenced in 2 days. It's like, oh my God. Just the fact that teenagers know how to do this stuff or attempt to do this stuff, I'm starting to think it was like him not like getting a high off of it or something. Y'all know what I mean? It's like you could rob people, set stuff on fire, but it's like he wanted to take it up a notch. I feel like that's what this is giving, because look at the background this dude had. I'm like, very troubling. Homeless teen because he ran away. Probably didn't want to listen. Robbing people. Mischief. Criminal. Arson. It's just, geez, this dude should have been in juvie. And the courts, they need to fix this stuff. The courts can easily say juvie don't help these kids, but leaving them out with no help, leaving them out just to do what they do, to go back to doing what they do. Even if they did send him back with his parents, he would just run away, do the same thing. It's like, it's not fixing nothing. Especially if you're not like forcing them to go to treatment, like to go get treatment and to go get to talk to somebody. Cause like, geez, look what he was writing in his diary. Like, this dude was obsessed with fictional serial killers. Come on. Could this have been prevented? Yeah, by throwing them into like juvenile system and getting them some help. And actually, I think also actually giving these kids sentences. I know it's like kind of sound a little barbaric, kids going to like not jail, juvie. Give them time in there. He should have been given some juvie time for the stuff he did. But they just throw him back outside. That's the system we live in, y'all, in America. It's crazy. Don't really help these kids. It's like y'all making it worse. But yeah. What do y'all think of this case? I feel like I was all over the place because I'm trying to catch it, but it's sad. You had a 13-year-old girl who was raped and strangled, thrown into a creek by a 16-year-old boy at the time. He's 18 now. He's an adult now, but it's very horrifying to know that kids do this stuff. And we're seeing more of this too. I did this cases, like I've been doing cases of teenagers recently. I'm going to add more to it because I'm like, what is it? What is this? How is this a thing when you got teenagers killing each other? It's really scary, y'all. This world is scary. So on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. The end of November. We're almost in 2025. I cannot wait because I hate this year. This year was just so dark. I did so much crime this year. It's crazy. Like, I didn't think it was going to be this much. It's actually crazy the more I say crazy so much. I just noticed that, but it is crazy. Looking at on my channel, I was like, it's a lot of crime. Like, when you wouldn't think until you actually look it up. Like, go online crime, look at these cases, go on true crime websites. You would be so surprised. It's so much crime, and it's been a lot of crime this year. It's actually insane. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay safe, stay aware, stay alert at all times. Guys, be careful. Don't follow teenagers into the woods. Little girls, little boys, be careful. Also, you shouldn't be watching this video, you know. This is not the video for kids. So on and I will let you guys go. Bye.